Okay, people, let's be honest about Bleach Thousand Blood War episode 4 with the wrath of the Stern Ritter continuing the battle of Ichigo versus Quilge, Byakuya versus Asnodt alongside with Renji, like all of the absolute chaos that has gone on in the Seritei within this episode. There's a underlining feeling that at the very least I got, and I know a lot of people felt the same way based off of the reaction I'm seeing so far regarding this episode, and I guess a little bit of a worry. It feels like it's time to worry just a smidge when it comes to Bleach's Thousand Blood War. Not condemning it, because I know a lot of people are going to take it like, oh my god, you're just trying to spread hate, get out of here with that. Trust, if I wanted to spread hate, I would spread hate, but this isn't hate because there was a lot of things I liked about this episode, despite the fact that, again, there's that thing that the elephant in the room we're going to talk about, because this episode picks up from where the last one left off. Again, Ichigo versus Quilge, I thought it was Quilge, but a lot of people are saying it's like Quilge, whatever his name is. Stern Ritter J versus Ichigo, and Ichigo is thrown down for the most part, and even that battle kind of felt a little bit awkward to a certain degree in comparison to its manga counterpart at the very least, because all of this stuff that we saw in this episode in the manga was just back to back, straight up shocking moment after shocking moment. And I guess let's get off rip to say that one of the things about this episode that kind of has me just a smidge of worried regarding the Bleach Thousand Blood War anime is the fact that it felt extremely fast paced. Now granted, we know for sure that the Bleach Thousand Blood War has 200 plus chapters, and they're condensing all of that content into roughly 52 episodes, so there's a lot to get through, and they may very well be rushing through stuff. But one of the things about that's problematic of them rushing through things is that this right here is some of the best content of this war. I'll never forget the build up and lead up to everything that comes even after this and whatnot. It was just like, oh my god, Tite Kubo is snapping, let's go. A lot of people had doubts about the previous arc with the Fullbringers or whatever. This arc is straight up fuego, and this episode kind of felt like it didn't have that same flair per se that the manga had, because it starts introducing again more of the Stern Ritter and their battles that they got going on with the Soul Society and the Shinigami. We got Rose versus Nana, and I was just kind of like, okay, let's go. I always loved his design in the manga, Nana, or however the hell you pronounce his name. I think it's Nana, whatever. I always liked his design in the manga, and it's cool to see him. He feels very menacing in the anime, and that one, for the most part, there's nothing really to complain about. The battle just got started. They didn't really get to kick off that much, but that was okay. Then we got Renji bossing up and going towards Asnodt, and I was like, okay, I kind of forgot this in the manga, but I'm actually extremely hyped right now. Let's freaking go. Renji shooting off his Zanpakuto. I'm like, that's what I want to see, baby. Renji, let's go. Let's bring Renji back to the days of when Renji was my favorite character in Bleach. Like, that's what I want to see again. So seeing Renji there showing up for the Asnodt battle, I was like, oh baby, let's go. And another one, which arguably was one of my favorite moments in the Bleach manga, it hasn't come up yet, but it's starting to set up the embers for it, was Komamura facing off against Bombietta Bastaban. And I was just there like, oh baby, let's go, because Bombietta, for starters, she reminds me of another character from a series called The Kami Got Kill as Death, but in general, she's just a freaking ruthless monster, so to speak. The way she's talking to Komamura, I was like, excuse me, little girl, who you think you calling doggy, aight? Who you calling doggy is the first thing that was coming to my mind every time she kept on calling Komamura out of his name. I was like, you gonna find out about old doggy, aight? You gonna find out why he's the big bad wolf, you know what I'm saying? But seriously, just seeing these moments at first, at the very least, while they were being set up or whatnot, just had me through the roof. If you're a manga reader and you understand how epic all of this was in the manga, then you know what I'm talking about when I say that seeing these matchups begin just felt like, oh my god, dog, it's been like a decade plus, it's finally happening, let's go! Because it just feels like a 1v1 bonanza. You got Toshiro Hitsugaya there with Masamoto throwing down, like, there's just so many people that are going with 1v1s, which is classic in Bleach case, and something that Shonen oftentimes nowadays try to subvert, because that was kind of a standard of 1v1s, but seeing it here, I ain't mad at it. Seeing all of these people getting ready to get bopped by them Quincy's, I'm like, Okay, well, let's get to the 1v1s then. Like, let's get to them because, dog, this pacing. We even get as Renji is about to throw down with Asnodt, suddenly some masked luchador looking dude attacking Renji, and spoiler alert, his name, like, do you mind if I say his name? I don't think you're gonna feel spoiled. Mask the Masculine. I was here like, let the jokes begin, fam. One of the most hilarious characters of the Stern Ritter has arrived, and then it gets even more serious, folks, because as Renji's there trying to throw down, we got Byakuya Kuchiki arriving on the scene, and pretty much one of the big mysteries that not only we got, Mayuri Kotosuchi trying to figure out what the hell is going on over here as he's doing his research, then you got Byakuya there like, okay, we're gonna have to throw down, so to speak, against this Asnodt and Master Masculine guy, and one of the things that Renji warns him is, dog, don't use the Bankai, and I really wish some people, sometimes will use their common sense of like, okay, maybe there's a point there. Why would I want my thing sealed? Like, you know what I'm saying? But Renji warns him, do not use your Bankai, and he's basically like, well, how are we gonna know how to unseal them if we don't figure it out? So yeah, I'm gonna go Bankai, and dun, 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 the big, massive, insanely, oh my god, reveal that the Quincy are seemingly able to steal the Bankai, because his Bankai looks like it's inside, which it reminded me of like that little pass that the Fullbringers had or whatever, like kind of reminded me of that. But essentially they're able to steal the Bankai and absorb it into what looks like some sort of medallion of sorts, and I was just there like, yeah, Byakuya, should listen to your lieutenant, you know what I'm saying? Like, Renji might know a thing or two, you know what I'm saying? He might be the dude to figure it out, you know what? Okay, Renji's not that smart, but either way, it's like, come on, if you would have just listened, fam. Like, it's not about unsealing it, it's about unstealing it, dog, because they don't rob you, you know what I'm saying? You got jukes. Although I gotta commend Byakuya for that little bit of sealing that mask, dude. The way Master Baskin, I was like, yeah, get him out the picture. Come on, dog. We don't need that right now. Also, you gotta note that even besides that, if I'm not mistaken, Asnodt took a straight up swipe from Senban Sakura to the face and was Gucci. So not only is certain people here from the Quincy's like just straight up stealing the Bankai, which already kind of makes you think like, yo, y'all some cowards, dog. Yeah, no, y'all can't take these people 1v1 at full max strength, so y'all doing some dirty, shady stuff. So you could throw that argument in there as well, but just in general, the fact that Asnodt was able to take quite a beating kind of speaks volumes on what we're really facing here. Like, these are already damn near invulnerable, really freaking strong dudes, but then on top of that, they play dirty and they're willing to steal your power so that you can't really go at max against them either. Like, it's worse than you could possibly imagine. And again, we just being honest here that the impact when certain scenes, I was like, man, this would have been so much more impactful if like this was spread out amongst 2 episodes or an episode and a half, or probably 2 episodes, which makes me question what director is in charge of the Bleach anime as of now, because back in the day, Bleach kind of used, the blueprint of straight up, hey, this is the manga, boom, okay, we're translating it to anime, manga to anime, and then of course, they have million pounds of filler or whatnot, but it feels like this director is taking somewhat liberties, I guess you would say, and kind of piecing things in a very fast-paced manner, which again, you kind of got to be creative when you're trying to squeeze 200 plus chapters into 52 episodes. Like, again, I've said before, it's usually about 2.5 chapters per episode. We're doing like 4 or 5 an episode, which is a lot, and it means a lot gotta be rushed and a lot gotta be cut. Also was really hyped to see not only Toshido throwing down, but Soifon as well. I was like, that's my girl. I've been a Soifon fanboy for a long time. Oh my god. So when she got cut and just smiled at Shao, I was like, let's go, baby. Blood War is here and Soifon is getting ready to go nuts. But again, amongst all of this thing, like, I feel like they kind of captured for the most part the Byakuya Bankai stolen part, okay? Like, that actually had its, ring. It felt like, holy shit. I was shocked even while watching, even though, I read this a million years ago, whatever, but I was kind of shocked by certain scenes. But then there was other scenes that I felt didn't have the impact that I thought they would have. For example, when Kyoraku got shot in his eye, initially I'm thinking like, yo, that scene, that's a very important scene, to be honest with you. That's something that should have a lot of impact. And it was just kind of like, yo, he's fighting this dude, I think his name was Robert or something, and like he gets shot in the eye, and I'm like, god damn, like that could have been a little bit of a stretch moment. Like it's times like this that it almost makes you miss Studio Pierrot doing the whole traditional, like, hey, we're gonna get 100 episodes out of 3 chapters type of approach, because there is a lot of room for expansion on a lot of these scenes, and it's starting to make me question if the whole 52 episode thing isn't a mistake in terms of adaptation, because we could really use a few more episodes to flesh out some of this material. Like, I mean, I guess it's an even trade, so to speak, because just in general, seeing all of this on my freaking screen has me going, yo! Because we cut back to Ichigo versus Quilge, and of course the Seritei and whatnot are starting to figure out that they're not stealing Bankais, they're stealing Bankais. Like, we're in a very, very delicate predicament right now. However, Quilge is not able to rob Ichigo's Bankai, which off rip, ask you guys a question if you're an anime only, what do you think is going on? Why can't they steal Ichigo's Bankai, but they're seemingly able to steal all of the other captains? Is it because he's a substitute Soul Reaper? Is it because he has all of these different things? You know, he's a Fullbringer, he's a Power Ranger. Like, why is Quilge not able to steal Ichigo's Bankai, similar to everything that happened in the Seritei, again, against people like Toshiro and Byakuya, which, Byakuya, you should have listened to Reggie, man. Why didn't you listen to Reggie? And then, probably one of the most anticlimactic moments for me from the episode, again, considering how amazing and epic it was in the manga, was Urahara blasting down Quilge. I remember in the manga that feeling very impactful, and it just kind of like happened for a moment. Ichigo tried to leave already because he hears everything that's going on in the Seritei and whatnot, and as he's going through the portal, boom, all of a sudden we get Quilge back up, shooting arrows through Urahara's back, and going off against Ichigo, even sealing him within the portal. And I'm just there like, okay, this was very, very fast paced, and that's really the biggest thing about this episode, because all of this content is absolutely amazing. Seeing Komamura on screen clashing with Bombietta, freaking amazing. Seeing Asnodt going up and taking a Senbon Sakura to the head and still continuing on and robbing the Bankai, freaking epic. Like, there's just so much great material here, and it's unreal almost to even say, to see it on screen for so many years waiting for it. But a part of me does feel like, wow, this is going by really, really quick, and I'm hoping what a lot of people say that they predicting is true, that they're rushing the beginning of the war, because a lot of it is set up to get to really some of the big battles, because right now these aren't the big battles. These are basically the setups, the precursors to what's to come, because it's about to get a lot more real, and maybe that's what they're going for. But still, part of me feels like, man, we're starting to see what fast pacing, you know, putting 4 chapters in an episode looks like, and it's not hitting the same way. Also makes you wonder what the hell Chad and Orihime about to do. Is Chad, Orihime, and Uryu versus Quilge, this monstrosity of a monster at this particular point. Ichigo can't help you no more. How y'all gonna get it done right now? So definitely leaves you wondering there. But as a whole, the episode, I ain't gonna lie, enjoyment wise, I had a blast. I really freaking had a blast. It was just like, yo, one thing after another, all of the captains throwing down after so many years. Anybody that says that they wasn't feeling hype as hell when they saw Byakuya Kuchiki there using his Bankai are flat out liars, because it was epic as hell to see and made me go like, yo, let's freaking go. I'm so hyped for it. But again, I cannot ignore the elephant in the room. Let's be honest here, people. It is definitely blitzing speed fast straight through a lot of this content. And I want to pass the question up to you guys, yay or nay, in terms of the pacing and how things are moving. Like, if the Bleach Thousand Blood War anime continues in this fashion of like really rushing through a lot of events, is it going to ruin the experience for you and ruin the in general anime? Or you feel like, yeah, it's cutting out useless things, it's getting straight to it? Because there's also that aspect that you could have, and that perspective you could have on the situation, as well as like, come on, dog, like a lot of this is just set up anyways. Like, let's just cut out the fat and get straight to the root of this situation. That could be a take too, and I'm totally fine with it. I'm just personally feeling like, while I'm enjoying it, yes, while a lot of this shit is hype, absolutely, it's flying by and not in the greatest way. So yeah, that's all I have for this one. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. Subscribe and hit that bell to get all notifications. Yo, dog, like, Ichigo, please. Like, now he's sealed away too, dog. Like, the amount of fuckery. Like, hey, they were stealing the Bankais and sealing the Shinigami. That's the actual accurate account of what went down. Have an awesome one.